He's cute. He's tall. He's got gorgeous eyes and a stunning smile. I didn't say his name, but he popped into your head, didn't he? Gem Knight Garnet. Gem Knight Garnet is one of the best normal monsters in the entire game. I would put it on the levels of Sabersaurus and Caboozles, and not a lot of other normal monsters can sort of meet this status of being a famous level 4 normal monster. And I've drawn Garnet many times. I'm sure all of you have also drawn Garnet a lot of different times. But the cool thing about Garnet is that he's not as frustrating to draw as the other quote-unquote Garnets that you might play. Drawing Garnet isn't nearly as bad as drawing a Takatomborg or a Darling Cobra or a whole bunch of other cards that claim themselves as Garnets, when in reality they will never match the pure greatness that is Gem Knight Garnet. What makes Gem Knight Garnet so special, and what makes him so interesting and unique in regards to other cards that require you to play Garnets, is that Garnet has 1900 attack and he's level 4. Now, this is important for a couple reasons. First of all, it means that he doesn't completely suck to draw. Obviously, it's not optimal to see Garnet in your opening hand, but you can certainly get in there with the damage. And when a lot of people, back when Brilliant Fusion first came out and Garnet was being hyped, and I don't even know how high it got. I feel like it got like $7 or something. But when Garnet was first hyped, a lot of people were saying, well, why do you need to play Garnet? Why don't you play another Gem Knight, like Tourmaline? Why don't you play Gem Knight Tourmaline? Well, Tourmaline can never match the greatness that is Garnet, because Tourmaline has less attack points, and that might not seem relevant, but it always is. Garnet can attack over Fairy Tale Snow. Garnet can attack over Abyss Dweller. Garnet can attack over Daigusto Emerald. Garnet can attack over almost anything besides Gene Warped Werewolf, and that's awesome. That makes Garnet a lot more useful than drawing like a Takatomborg, which can't really kill anything in battle, or Darling Cobra, which also can't really do anything. And being level 4 is great because it means that if you draw, I mean, heck, even if you just draw Brilliant Fusion Garnet, but you play 2 Garnets, you can make your rank 4 with that. You can Brilliant Fusion for Seraphonite, sending Garnet and Trick Clown, bring back the Trick Clown, normal summon the Garnet in your hand, make Daigusto Emerald, do whatever you have to, and that's useful. That's useful. Maybe Gem Knight Lazuli is close to being as good as Garnet, but drawing Lazuli sucks a lot more than drawing Garnet does, and it's one of the reasons why I don't mind playing Brilliant Fusion so much, because I'm not super angry when I see Garnet in my hand. Now, a lot of you know that I play plenty of decks that play a lot of quote-unquote Garnets, even if they're not as good as the standard Garnet. Madolches are one that I've played several times. Subterra is another one that comes to mind where I'm playing Garnet and Trick Clown and Darling Cobra and Takatomborg when Terratop was at 3, and all these cards that are bad to draw. And that's kind of weird because I've seen some posts in Zodiac from casual players that don't understand why people play 3 Brilliant Fusion and 1 Garnet, or a 3-star rotation and 1 Oracle Zephyra. And they're like, why do you want to play cards that are terrible to draw? And one of the things that's really happened in the last year, maybe 2 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that we've gotten a ton of powerful cards that require you to play awful cards to compensate for them. And I think that's hilarious. I think that's a cool way to design, I don't want to say broken cards, but powerful cards for sure. Terratop, it was obviously ridiculous already, but it would be even more ridiculous if you didn't have to play a crappy card like Takatomborg that you have to search. So I think a card like Brilliant Fusion is dynamic. It's not just overpowered, instantly going on the ban list. I mean, if Brilliant Fusion just said, send a light monster from your deck to the grave, summon Seraphonite, that would be overpowered. But because it adds in the possibility of drawing the Garnet, it makes it unique, actually. This is just something that we haven't seen in a while for most of the Yu-Gi-Oh's existence, and we're finally seeing it now, and it's really prominent in this game. People saying like, well, set rotation's like so powerful, and it's so good in the mirror matches, but I don't want to draw Oracle Zephyra. But other players are like, it doesn't matter. Like, the times you draw a set rotation, you just win the game, and that's just... It's interesting, the way that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has sort of developed into that direction where cards are really powerful but maybe not as consistent, and then players get to debate amongst themselves whether or not it's worth playing those inconsistent cards for the games that you'll win when you draw the powerful cards. Now, why am I talking about this today? I am excited to announce that I got my first sponsorship for the channel. This probably will not come to a surprise to many of you if you've been following me on Facebook, but I am partnering with MetaMats. You saw me review their mat the other day where I got Sky Squad Truffle Burning Abyss on a mat. Really exciting. That was really cool. It was like the first sort of free thing I've ever been sent on the channel, and I didn't know when that was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to happen, to be honest. And then it did, and it was really cool, honestly, and I like that mat a lot. And then they approached me and asked me if I wanted to partner with them in sort of like a sponsorship way, and I jumped at the idea because, first of all, I love the mat. I've used it for a couple weeks now, and it's been great. I've really found no problems with it besides what I already talked about in the video, but it's awesome, and it's a product that I can support. I know it probably sounds really cliche because I know I've watched a lot of sponsorship videos where they said, well, I wouldn't get sponsored by a product that I wouldn't support. I don't always believe it, but trust me, I mean, you guys know that I'm an honest person with you, and yeah, I support MetaMats. But what's cool is that they sent me, because, okay, so with the Skysword Truffle Burning Abyss mat, I felt bad because the main artwork of it didn't have the logo in frame if I want to do deck profiles. And as much as I want to mention their name all the time, I know not everyone plays like the very beginning of the clip with sound on, so I wanted to get a mat that had their logo front and center, but also showed off what they can do. Because it's obviously really important to show that they can do custom fabric mats, whereas the other companies aren't doing that. And it's also important to show that it's not ink that's on top of the mat, it's actually burned to the fabric and stuff like that. And sorry, I'm not trying to sound like a pitch here, but so my idea was that I wanted a mat with one of my favorite monsters on it, Gem Knight Garnet. So that's what I did. And this is actually just a single player one. There wasn't really a huge reason for it to be two player. It's just one monster on the artwork and then their logo on it. And it's really only for deck profiles, although I don't know, I think I might actually use it over the Skysword Truffle Burning Abyss one just because it's like so funny. And because I play so many decks with Garnet, it'll be like doubly hilarious if I can like summon a Garnet with the Garnet on the mat. But anyway, so I got this Garnet mat with their logo on it. It's sort of to announce the sponsorship. That's what this video is for. And I'll talk about Garnet because I like that card a lot. But it's funny, and it really to show off what you can do with MetaMats. You can put whatever you want on the mat. That's the whole point, you guys. It's that you, and I already made a whole video about this, but even before they had any sort of sponsorship on the horizon, I thought this was a good product. That's the reason that I contacted them in the first place. Because remember, I contacted them first because I was interested in their mats, and the mats were like way better than I thought they were. I thought it was going to be cheap or something. I don't know. I just didn't believe that it was possible to make like custom fabric mats, and it is. And they're doing it, and it's exciting. And they're partnering with other YouTubers. I think the biggest one is Yugi Nono. So it's an honor to be partnered with them at such an early stage. I actually think they're going to be big. So make sure to go check them out if you haven't yet. And I already know that on that video, the first one I posted, a ton of people said that they were going to go on there and buy one right away. And I saw a lot of great ideas of people posting about their favorite decks so they could get now customized on like a fabric mat, where conventionally you've only been able to get custom mats on the rubber ones. And those are like, I don't like playing rubber mats, so I can understand why people would sort of shy away from that. But MetaMats is unique and cool, and I'm happy to be sponsored by them. I think it's a good way to start my sponsorships. It's a company you guys know that I support. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that, and you've probably, I don't know how I'm going to edit this, but you've probably already seen it in the video, but they sent me a second mat too. So second mat has Omega and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon on it. And what that is that's actually their standard design. And what I mean by that is that it's not custom, and you can just buy that one at a discount. So it's only $60 for the two-player one with Crystal Wing and Omega. It's sort of, I don't know, it's in a weird spot because it's still almost like a custom spellground, or not a custom spellground, a custom fabric mat or whatever, and I guess it is basically a spellground material, but it's almost custom because you wouldn't see any company besides MetaMats doing one with Omega and Crystal Wing on it, and it's well designed, and there's like a border and stuff if you want that, but it's obviously not custom because you don't get to change anything on it, but it is cheaper if you wanted that. Also, the single player mats, which you've seen me open with the Garnet one, are less expensive as well, so that's the way to go if you don't want to play the two-player one. And I mean, realistically, Most people fold the 2-player ones anyway, so it's not super important to grab the 2-player one. But yeah, I just want to make this video to announce my happy partnership with MetaMats, and please check them out on Facebook. Do some orders with them. I do really like my mat. I've been using it, like I said, and no complaints so far. If I thought there was something wrong with the mat, I wouldn't have taken the sponsorship, and I hope you guys understand that. But anyway, hopefully enjoy this video. I'll see you later. Bye.